to my channel, Graced with Books. My name is Shelby, and today I'm going to be starting my reading vlog for House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. I have quite honestly been waiting for this book since 2020. The first book in Sarah J. Maas's Crescent City series, House of Earth and Blood, was so great. I absolutely loved it. It was just chock full of amazing world building and characters that I adored. And I cannot believe it's like almost been like 2 full years since the first book came out, and now it is finally February 15th and the second one has been released today. So I thought it would be fun if I took you guys along with me as I read this book. I took a poll on Instagram to see if you guys preferred that I have spoilers in this vlog or if I don't, and the results said that they do not want spoilers in the vlog until the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to keep it relatively spoiler free for the second book, and then at the end have a full spoilery review. I can, however, say with like almost 100% certainty I will be spoiling the first book in the series. So if you have not read House of Earth and Blood, read it and then come back here and we will have a great time reading the second book. So I don't physically have my copy yet of House of Sky and Breath. What had happened was I pre-ordered it from Barnes & Noble back in, oh my god, when? I think in August, last August I pre-ordered it, and I had forgotten that Barnes & Noble, they don't make sure the book is gonna get to you on the release date. They ship it out on the release date. So I actually won't be getting that copy until Monday, which I decided was unacceptable for me. So this morning, I literally went on the Barnes & Noble website and I essentially got a copy from my local Barnes & Noble for me to pick up this afternoon. And yes, that means I will have 2 copies, which is why I am giving away one of those copies on my Instagram. So all you have to do is go to my Instagram, the link is down below, click on this photo and enter the giveaway to win a copy of House of Sky and Breath, and along with some other like goodies I think I'm gonna put in there. So it is unfortunately just for the United States. I hope to have a more international giveaway soon, but right now my wallet can only afford to ship within the continental United States. Yeah, so I'm really excited for that. Be sure to check out that giveaway. And this afternoon we are going to go pick up the book, which I am so excited for. I have a few classes to get through first. I will be eagerly awaiting my drive to Barnes & Noble. But yeah, let's get started. So I don't usually film in my car. It's not the best space for it. So I apologize if it's like too bright or too dark. I can't really see like my little viewfinder. But I wanted to let you guys know that I'm about to head to Barnes & Noble to get House of Sky and Breath. I am so excited. I've been thinking about it all day. And of course I've also been paying attention to my classes, but mostly thinking of House of Sky and Breath. After I grab the book, I do need to make a quick trip to the mail center because my dress for formal is here. I want to show it to you guys because I literally just picked it out because it reminded me of a dress that like Feyre would wear to Starfall, which is ACOTAR, which is another Sarah J. Maas series, you probably know. But it looks like this like on the website, and I'm so excited to pick it up. There will definitely be pictures taken in it, so stay tuned for that, but I'm excited to get it. And then we will get home and start reading House of Sky and Breath. I'm so excited to finally have this book in my hands. It is massive, it is beautiful. I love like all the detailing, like way up close you can see it. Like there are so many theories packed into this cover. I have read everything I could find that kind of theorizes what's gonna happen in this book. I am so deep into the conspiracy theories, it's not even funny at this point. But this cover is just absolutely beautiful, and similar to the last book, they have a full image of it on the inside, so without the words like obstructing it, you can see the full image of Hunt in all of his glory right there. So that is beautiful. It is also similar to the last book in that we have a little crescent embossing. It's kind of hard to see, but we have some crescent embossing on the cover. So I kind of like that consistency throughout both copies of the book. I don't know, it's absolutely beautiful. I'm so excited. So where we last left off with House of Earth and Blood, Bryce and Hunt had just kind of, you know, saved the entire city from demons from another portal or from like another realm. And there are a lot of theories that these gates that lead to other realms might actually be what connects all of Sarah J. Maas's books. So that's a really interesting theory that I'm really excited about. But they were able to close the gate that was letting all these demons into Crescent City, and they were able to stop the evil Archangel Micah, who had kind of been pulling the strings from the beginning. Hunt and Bryce have kind of gotten the all clear to kind of live their lives and, you know, just be together with the threat of the overarching rulers of this world called the Asteri. They're like, we're watching you, so don't do anything bad. Like, we're letting you live because you saved the city, but like, if you step out of line, we'll know. So they have that threat looming over their heads. And then at the very end, in the epilogue of House of Earth and Blood, two of the characters, Adis, who is like a kind of demon who comes in the form of a cat, and another character, Jessica, who is a kind of very prolific witch. They kind of meet together to discuss the events of what has happened and to talk about Hunt's father, who is a mystery. So those are kind of some of the questions that we left off with in the last book, like who is Hunt's father? Like, why is Bryce a starborn fae, which is like a super duper powerful fae? And I'm really curious how soon they'll start this book after the events of last book. So I think I have waited long enough. Let's crack this open and start reading. Hey guys, as you can tell, it is later in the evening. I think it's like 8 p.m. at this point. Yeah, like almost on the dot. I had to take a little break from reading to go to class for an hour, but ever since I came back and made dinner, I have literally just been reading House of Sky and Breath. So I'm about 70 pages in right now. I've been kind of annotating as I go along. I'm not going as in depth as before. Just kind of putting little sticky notes down when I find something funny or interesting, just things that I enjoy in the book. I'm kind of putting a tab on. And on top of that, I am also taking notes as I read. So anytime I have a theory about something or I think something is worth noting down, I'm just kind of recording it in my notes app so that I can give a better review at the end of this video. So that's all things I have been doing so far. I have just reached chapter 5 and I found that the action in this book, you know, you kind of get it much quicker than you did in the first book. A lot of people complained that House of Earth and Blood was too slow, and I think that was because she was, you know, world building. She was creating a whole new world for us to explore. But now that that's kind of been established, she can kind of just get right into the action with this second book, which I'm really enjoying. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening. I love it. But yeah, I just made myself a nice little thing of hot cocoa, and I'm going to read until I fall asleep essentially, and I will give you guys an update in the morning. Wednesday. It is like 9:30 in the morning right now. I just had breakfast and the most important meal of the day, coffee. And I did some reading of House of Sky and Breath. So I have reached about the 25% mark in the book. I'm on chapter 21 and I'm really liking the pacing of the book so far. I think that we have just enough action in that first little section and still a lot of questions that need to be answered and things that need to happen. So I'm really liking the pacing of the book. One of the things that I really like that's being explored in this book is Bryce's survivor's guilt. When the events of the last book happened, when she charged into the Crescent City to save it from the demons, she wasn't able to save anyone, and she kind of was like up close and personal watching these demons hurt all these different kinds of people, humans, werewolves, vampires, what else are there? Different kinds of shifters. She saw all these people getting hurt and she couldn't do anything to save them. And while her burst of light had saved a lot, it didn't save everyone. So now Bryce is kind of wrestling with this question of, do I deserve to be happy? And does being happy mean I no longer care or remember of all the people who died for me to be here? So I'm really liking her kind of exploring that. I love that Sarah J. Maas like kind of ropes these themes into her books. You know, in ACOTAR, we deal a lot with depression and, you know, anxiety, and that's kind of present throughout her books. She tackles mental health issues really well. So I like that this is kind of a new one for her to kind of get a look into, and I think it's playing out really well. I'm also loving Bryce and Hunt's relationship. We know that Sarah has a habit of never keeping the first love interest. In Throne of Glass, I think we got through like 4 or 5 love interests before we got to the final one. In ACOTAR, we had Tampon, and then we got our fabulous Rhysand. So I think everyone's really nervous going into this book because everyone loves Hunt so much, and no one wants him to kind of fall victim to that storyline. So far so good, I'll say that. But yeah, I'm just really enjoying it so far. I think that it's building on the last book really nicely, and I can't wait to keep reading and find out what happens. So today is a pretty chill day. I only have one class on Wednesdays and it's not till 2 p.m. So I have a lot of time to read and get some other work done before that starts. I have like a huge like major field test on Friday I need to study for, as well as some other little projects. So I'm gonna be trying to balance my time as well as I can so that I get reading in, but I also get the work I need to do. It's the constant struggle of the college student. But yeah, that's kind of the plan for the day, so let's get started. From class and then Starbucks. I really just kind of needed a caffeine boost to get me through the rest of the day. It's like, oh my god, what time is it? I think it's like 4:30 right now. And the Starbucks drink that I tried was actually a customized drink that was made by my friend Dee Dee, who runs the Instagram account Magical Days Ahead. And she makes really awesome customizable Starbucks orders that are like related to bookish characters or quotes. So I got this one called the Light It Up drink because, you know, we're reading Crescent City, gotta have one of my favorite quotes from the last book. And it is an iced chai latte with cinnamon powder and 2 pumps of cinnamon dolce syrup, and it is so good. So props to Dee Dee for creating a drink that really does light it up. I'm trying to remember the last time that I updated you guys. I can't fully remember, but I have reached part 2 of the book. Generally, Sarah J. Maas tends to have 3 to 4 parts in a book, so I've reached the second part. And something I am really excited that is in this book finally are some spicy scenes. When House of Earth and Blood came out way back in 2020, everyone was kind of expecting it to be really spicy, really, you know, sexy scenes like that, because we had just finished A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Wings and Ruin, and those had a little bit of the spicier scenes in them. So we were all expecting this new series to have that kind of spice. And the first book didn't really. We were all waiting and waiting and waiting, and we got like a little bit of like a makeout session, but we didn't really get a big firework scene. And because the last book that Sarah published, A Court of Silver Flames, last year had a lot of spicy scenes, I think we all expected this book to also have some spicy scenes, and this time we are finally correct. We have some really great scenes between some of the characters that are, it's just so good. The chemistry is so good. We've all been waiting so long for those scenes, and this was kind of told to us before that there was going to be these sexier scenes in this book, so I'm not really counting that as a spoiler, but I finally reached the part in the book that has those scenes, if that makes sense. But I'm really enjoying it so far. You know, the middle of the book is always difficult because you kind of have to figure out how to move the story along, how to keep people engaged without like revealing anything too soon, without losing your audience. So I'm kind of liking the different surprises and reveals that Sarah has kind of planted throughout the middle of this book, and I'm just really excited to keep reading it. So I honestly think this will be my last update for today, just because I have a lot of homework to do and I have a lot of this book that I want to get through. So I'm not going to focus on filming, I'm just going to focus on reading and working. So I will update you guys with how I've been doing tomorrow. Good morning, you guys. It is Friday. I totally lost track of time yesterday and wasn't able to update at all. It just ended up being a really busy day on top of classes, and then I had a massage appointment because my back's been really hurting, and then the rest of the day I was just studying and studying for this huge field test I have to take in my major, which counts for a lot of my grade. So I've been like reviewing all the material that I've learned for the past 4 years. So it was really busy and stressful, but it is Friday morning and it is like 9:30 right now, and I am feeling a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more ready for the field test today. And in 2 hours or so, I'm gonna go to the gym to work out to relieve some stress. But I thought before I do that, I could give you guys a reading update and unbox a really cool package for you. So first we are going to unbox this little package I have here. It is from the Magic Burrow, which is a bookish fandom clothing boutique. The owner of the shop's name is Zoe. She's amazing. I love talking with her about everything bookish and Marvel and everything. And she recently released a Crescent City piece, which has the quote, "Through love, all is possible" on it, and it's a sweatshirt, and that is one of my favorite quotes from House of Earth and Blood. So I decided to get it, and I thought I would unbox it and wear it for you guys. We're just gonna cut through there. Yay! Oh my god. So excited. So first you have her little like cute little calling card. And it just says, "Thank you for supporting the business." It's really cute. I love her branding stuff. It's really pretty. And here is the sweatshirt. So it has the quote, "Through love is possible" on the front and on the back. And I got an extra large because I have been loving like that oversized sweatshirt feel recently. I don't know, there's something about it that just feels so good, and I'm going to try it on really quickly. All right, here it is on. It's so comfy, like it's so soft on the inside, and I love the oversized feel as I just said. It is just so cute, and I can't wait to literally live in this as I finish House of Sky and Breath. Speaking of, let's do a reading update. I don't quite remember where I was in the book on Wednesday, but since then I have gotten to part 3 and chapter 54 of the book. I think that's like 580 pages in, so making progress. I think about 70% through of the book, which definitely means I'm either going to finish it today or tomorrow, which is super exciting. I have just been having a blast reading this, honestly. I love how they're slowly disseminating the information while also leaving us wanting more. Sarah J. Maas is really good at keeping us on the hook when it comes to these stories because there's always an answer and then 5 more questions. At this point in the book, when you're like very deep into the story, it's really hard to like share information about it that isn't like a spoiler, but I will say that I think that the development of the characters in this book, their growth has been really great. I really like that we've been getting more perspectives in this book. So in the last book, it was a lot of like perspectives from Hunt and Bryce and Rune. But in this book, we are getting a ton more, which I'm really enjoying, like Ethan Holstrom, who is a wolf, and Therian Kitos, who is a Myrrh. So it's really kind of fun to like see all of these perspectives and get to see the story from a different point of view. I am going to try to read at least a chapter or 2 more before I go to the gym, and then I will be probably studying for my exam the rest of the day, and then after that it will just be a cozy night of reading House of Sky and Breath. I have nothing this Friday, which is kind of nice. I am so excited to just kind of spend a very chill night in, and then tomorrow we will wrap this all up. So let's get started. So, I finished the book. What you just saw was my live reaction of reading the last few pages of the book. I'm still kind of processing. Oh my god. 5 stars. I can't imagine giving it anything else, like from the pacing to the expansion of the world that we had learned to the big reveals. This book just kept my heart freaking pounding. Like this was good. This was really fucking good, and I am overwhelmed. The next part of this video is going to be the spoiler review. So if you have not read it yet, you can skip ahead. I will have this marked as a little section so you can skip ahead to like my outro, or you know, just come back later. I will see you. Goodbye. This is your last warning for no spoilers. Okay, they're gone. Can we talk about this? Oh my god. I don't even know where to begin. I was kind of thinking for this spoiler review, I could go through the nonsense notes that I took on my phone because I recorded all of my big thoughts on these notes, and it's the first time I've ever kind of done anything like this while reading. Usually I just annotate with the tabs and the colors, but I'm kind of excited to kind of walk through this with you, albeit an abbreviated version. So we're gonna get started. So for the prologue, I was definitely confused about the time frame because I thought it took place in like the way back in the past. Like for some reason I thought like Sophie and Emil would be like ancestors of Hunt because of that lightning, but that was revealed to simply not be that case. So that was a pretty good opening. I was very hooked from that beginning, especially because we had no idea about these characters and how important they would become. So Sophie and Emil's presence at the beginning was very cool. Something I'm interested that we didn't get to see is in like the first part of the book, part 1, in that almost that very first scene when they're all at the ballet, Bryce compares Hunt to a picture of this great angel warrior called Thur. She says that he looks very similar to the statue, and that comparison is actually made multiple times throughout the book. So even though we didn't really get any information about Hunt's parentage, I think it's going to have to do with something with that statue. Something about it seems interesting to me, And you know, I'm getting the feeling that Jessica Roga, who is our antique dealer, is involved somehow, because Jessica apparently isn't the name that she has always gone by, and there's a lot of theories in the last book that Jessica actually might be Hunt's mother or related to him in some way just because of her interest in him. So there are a lot of theories surrounding that. Also with the fact that at the very end they comment about how Hunt doesn't smell like a typical angel. Now this could be because he has mated with Bryce, which we'll get to very soon, and his scent has kind of altered from that, but I think it's because he may not be fully angel, and I am so excited to see where they're going to go with that later. So in this book we get the introduction of Prince Cormac, who is the prince of the Avalon Fae, who live much more old-fashioned than they do in Crescent City. And when they first said that this guy just kind of came in and he was blonde, I was like, ugh, not another tampon. And I honestly thought, like, that's when it's gonna happen. She's gonna cross over the world right now and Tamlin's just going to appear. But alas, that wasn't it. I definitely went through my stages with Cormac. I was like, I swear to God, if Sarah J Maas has brought him here just to like compete for Bryce's affections, I'm gonna go to war, because it's, you know, very predictable of her to like introduce a second love interest in the second book of a series of hers. But what I liked is that she kept Hunt, and I was like waiting for the other shoe to drop the entire book. But we have confirmed information that Hunt and Bryce are mates, that they are together even though he's an angel and she's a fae. They are mates and they love each other, and I think their relationship was really well shown throughout the entire book. It seemed very healthy. Like, yes, they did things without talking to each other, but they talked about it afterwards and they got through their problems, and Hunt was very supportive and Bryce was understanding with him. It was a very healthy relationship, and sometimes you don't see those a ton in Sarah J Maas's books, so it was really nice to see it with Bryce and Hunt. And they're true mates, which is so exciting. And the sex scenes, mwah, so good, so good. So next I'm kind of focusing on like the rebellion, because that definitely has a bigger part to play in this book. The rebels are called Ophion, and they are trying to overthrow the Asteri, albeit in some very bad ways. We learn that Prince Cormac is Agent Silver, who is from the prologue, and he has been working behind the scenes this whole time. And throughout the book, I had two big predictions about who Agent Bright was, or Agent Daybright, because she was kind of this mysterious figure all along. And first I thought she might be Hypaxia, because Hunt said that he like recognized the scent, and I kind of thought, well, that would make sense. Like, he is her betrothed, they're fiancés. That's why he like recognizes it a bit. And then when that was confirmed to not really be it, I then had the thought that it was Celestina, because Agent Daybright kept saying that she was being forced by someone to be in this relationship. And we know that the big Asteri were forcing Celestina to be in a relationship with another archangel. So I was really convinced that it was Celestina for like the majority of the book, but it wasn't. It ended up being the Hind, who was horrible, like torturer, who hurt Hunt, who was a member of Sandriel's Triari. Like, that's insane that it ended up being her, but it makes sense why he thought he recognized the scent, because Hypaxia is the Hind's sister. So I was kind of more accurate with that one than I was with Celestina. So in this book, we also learn a lot more about the Star Sword that Bryce is wielding along with her brother Rune. It can only be wielded by Starborn Fae, and it has a dagger that goes with it, but that's been lost for some time, and I will get to that later. It says that it's an ancient sword from another world, and that should have clued us in pretty fast, and it clued a lot of people in to how the sword would play a big part later. A big reveal from this book is what happens to the dead. I always thought it was weird that they boated their dead off into the Under King's lands, and they just kind of they got up from the boats and then just chilled there as ghosts. I felt like that was weird. It didn't feel like a resting place for these dead people. And what they learn is that they actually sacrifice the dead to create second light, which is like this power source. And it's kind of horrifying to think like, oh, when I die, like I'm not gonna be at peace. I'm not gonna live in like splendor in the Under King's realm. No, I'm just gonna be turned into food for energy and for the Asteri, even though they don't really know it's specifically for the Asteri. That was a pretty big reveal, and as someone who like hates the thoughts of death and stuff, like that kind of freaked me out. There was just so much in this book. I have like so many notes here that I do not think I have time to get through, but I do want to touch upon that very last reveal in this book, which would be Bryce ending up in Prythian. We have long speculated since the first House of Earth and Blood book came out that this was the series that was going to unite all of Sarah J. Maas's worlds. We kind of got a glimpse of that when Aelin, for some reason, like went to Prythian in Throne of Glass. And now we have official confirmation that these different places that we have read about are all different worlds and that they can be connected in some way. Hunt and Rune sacrifice themselves in order for Bryce to get away so she can go to the planet of Hell and convince the princes of Hell to join them to defeat the Asteri, which are essentially like soul-sucking leeches taking everyone's power and feeding off the living and the dead, and they need reinforcement. So Rune and Hunt sacrifice each other, which was really hard to read, and Bryce teleports to where she thinks is Hell. But it doesn't look like Hell. It's not like dark and cold, it's green and lush, and this person finds her and he has big wings that aren't feathered like Hunt's, and he is very confused by that. They don't speak the same language, they're talking in different languages, and he takes Bryce with him to a secret location where a bunch of other people come in, males and females, and they come in and they don't understand what Bryce is saying. So Bryce tries to talk in another language, the other language she knows, which is the original language of the Fae, and someone knows that language and they're able to communicate with her. And finally, they ask for her name. She says, "My name is Bryce Quinlan." And then a swaggering male with violet eyes says, "Hello, Bryce. My name is Rhysand." And the worlds are connected. I think the one who found her was Asriel, because I believe Cassian comes in with Nesta during the scene. And I think it's funny that Amren is the one to communicate with Bryce, because Amren is a very old creature that we don't really know the background of. So I feel like Amren might be from one of these other worlds. Like, it's insane. It's crazy. I know. Oh my God. I have just so many thoughts swirling around in my head. That was just so much. Because if you have any theories, if you want to like talk out your theories with me, because I have quite a few that I do not have the time to get into right now, DM me on Instagram and we will get into it. Like, I promise. Because I have so many thoughts. Yeah, so this book was a definite 5-star read for me. It was everything, and to me, I am just so happy, scared, sad. I don't know, I feel a lot of emotions right now, but that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along and reading House of Sky and Breath with me. Once again, if you would like to talk about the books in a place where we don't have to spoil it for others, please feel free to DM me on Instagram. I am always happy to talk anything Sarah J. Maas. And that is it for this video. Don't forget to enter my giveaway to win a copy of House of Sky and Breath. It ends on Monday, the 21st of February, so be sure to get those entries in. And I'm just so happy I got to read this with you guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Hit the notification bell to get updates on when I post. I post every single week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!